on? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, we're live. We're live. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are on the planet. Welcome to our Mumfreedompreneurs Hangout. And today, by the way, you see in the background, I'm sorry, I got my little guy back there. He's just kind of, he crawled in and then he sort of like passed out in the back there, which is kind of funny. So at any moment, if he pops up, I might have to like mute myself out. And today's topic, which Greta, thank you so much, Greta Campanile, and then we've got Michelle Anderson and we've got Rashawn Birch, and Sarita's coming, she'll be here soon. And today's topic is mom can help you grow your business. Helping a mom can help you grow your business. And and here we go. We got another little guy in the background. I think Forrest is getting a snack. So Greta, I have to open up for you. Is this an okay time for you? I know you're doing that, but I know you've spoken before, even in the midst.
Yeah.
Of breastfeeding, if it's a nice quiet moment.
Yeah.
Because I would love this, because this was your idea for your topic, and it's very beautiful. Any of you that can see Greta's page, you can see what she posted. I mean, you can also see as well watching. Go check out what she posted. Very, very beautiful things. So I'm gonna start by passing it off to you, Greta.
Thank you, Valerie. Thank you. Yeah, this whole process of coming into motherhood and then taking it to my business, and I don't know, it's just this ongoing process of this journey, this soul-searching journey, because it's funny how you may be in business, maybe you have a business already yourself, maybe you're selling vitamins or wraps or I don't know, coffee, anything. You could be selling anything, and as time has gone by, I've realized that it's about what I'm selling. It's not about the products that I'm selling as much as who I am. That's what's most important. It's who you are, and that's how people connect with you. Whether you're in business for yourself, or you're selling other products, somebody else's products, or whatever, and you might be plugging away and posting things about the products, right? I mean, like, you want to sell stuff and you want to sell what the products that you're promoting, and so you think, okay, I'm just gonna blast this product out there. But as you look around, you see that so many other people are selling the same products, and that's okay, and that's fine. But the difference between sorry, fussy little one today.
Greta, if you wanna hop and come back, that's okay. It's up to you.
I'll see if I can keep going here. First of all, I guess I should. Maybe I need to hop back.
Okay, that's okay. That's all right. Been there. It's okay. We started the topic, started the conversation, so that's okay. You know what? Just interrupt me, like interrupt any of us in like mid-sentence. Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna sort of take where Greta left off there, and then we'll pass it on. Something that is very powerful, because there's several levels to what we're talking about today. There's several levels to it, and one level is sharing your life, and because a lot of times depending on what you do. I mean, if you're selling a product, a lot of the times what it is we want to be able to share, because people are interested in who you are. and they're going to be attracted to what you do by who you are. So there's that part of it where you share your life, especially when it's something like us. When we're doing, we talk about having a life of freedom and being able to live our lives. And I know for most of the ladies, we can all speak to this. I mean, I started this so that I could be at home with my kids. I mean, I'm a freaking attorney. And I left that. And I could have gone back to it. I was laid off while I was on maternity leave, but I chose not to go back to it because I really wanted to be at home with my kids and to be able to create, to have the possibilities of being able to create that income while still being at home with my kids. I mean, Sarita does it. My goodness, income disclaimer, last month she made like, I don't know, over $10,000 and thousands every week. Income disclaimer, you can see the link below. You want to know what system we're using, just click the button below, it's right there, because it can help you no matter what it is you're doing. But the thing is, and that's, it's always it's talking about our lives, because that will encourage people on a completely, and Michelle and Vashon and Sarita and Greta are all going to get into that also deeper. And there's another level to it, which is when things come up in our business, the lessons that we learn in being a mom, and how it can assist us in what and how we do our business. So there's two sides to it. One is sharing our lives of who we are, right? And the other is the lessons of what it is being a mom and bringing that in. And Greta touched on it briefly, and she's going to touch on it a lot more. But that love inside of ourselves, and that how we can spread and share that to others in our caring. It can be our why. It can be, like I said, I started by saying this was my why. This is what gets me up, in the waking up in the morning. What inspires me to do this? What was my impetus? And I am so thankful for that. So that right now I'm not, getting ready for that rush hour traffic, right? I'm not getting ready to be, or frankly, with what I did, I'd already be at the office. My goodness sake, And for those of you that are attorneys watching, there's some of you I know that get there at 6, 7 in the morning. I used to get to the office, and I'd be there at 7 in the morning, having had voicemail messages from my boss at 6 in the morning, having left the office at 2 in the morning. It's pretty crazy. But there are folks out there that work like that. I know it's nuts, but they're there. And yeah, I was making a 6-figure income, but I called it golden handcuffs. It was horrible, And and even when I adjusted to being a corporate attorney, and I was able to get home at 8, woohoo, or even at the times that I was able to actually leave the office at 6. For those of you that know, with kids in daycare, first of all, I didn't want to have my kids in daycare. I wanted to be able to have my kids at home with me, right? I wanted to be able to do that. And for those of you that are, still in the job, and there's hope, because, you can start a business, you can build a business and do it at night. You can do it, after the kids are asleep. You can do all that. And in fact, I think most of that's what Sarita does. That's what a lot of us, my kids are sleeping right now. So I can do things, and then during the day, I can be focused on playing with them and going and doing what I love to do. The transition, there's another level, and it's when challenges come up as a parent, and I'll speak briefly to that, and then I'll switch over to Michelle and Vashon and Sarita when she comes back, and Greta, like I said, interrupt me. Not always are we a perfect parent. We want to be, right? And not always are we. And I had a situation that happened last week where while I was in the other room, my kids, they're twins, and they do things. There's baby proofing and there's twin proofing, and they went and they took this dresser, and they that's really heavy dresser, and I had like a big heavy objects on the top of it. I had a printer up on top of it. I had some heavy things on it to kind of keep away from them. When you have 4-year-olds, you'll understand what I mean. But they literally pulled it down to the ground. And I don't know how the energy that they must have taken for them to do it. And I hear this scream, and I ran to the other room. And first I thought Jordan was underneath it, and I pulled, it's like we're going to have this moment. I'm going to pull it up and lift it up off the ground. I realized he managed to squiggle out, and he had this cut, and he was bleeding, and he was freaking out completely. And I went to take care of him, you know, and fix him. And from a fear base, from something that just, I went into this state of panic, and I channeled, you know, every negative possible influence I've ever had in my life, and who knows from where else. And I started saying things to them because it came from a place of fear, and I started to say things to them that I couldn't believe it as they were coming out of my mouth. I was so scared for what could have happened. And I actually reached out to Greta at that time. She's looking, she knows. And I reached out to Greta. And that's the other thing, having a community of people that'll lift you up. And I talked through what was going on, because the boys they just passed out. They passed out. It was, you know, I thought they were asleep in the other room. They woke up and did this. And I realized something very powerful in the process of that, because what was upsetting me is I don't want to be that parent. I don't want to be that person. I want to be so strong that no matter what is going on in my environment, I realize that my potential is bigger, that who I am is more than my surroundings, more than my experience, more than what is anything that's going on in my life. And so that with my kids, that no matter what's happening, to be that loving presence, to be that presence that can be grounded at all times. And I learned and I realized, because in my business, right, and because we're always going through different levels in our business, that every single time, if something has happened in my personal life and I didn't react in a way that I wanted to, I would actually let it affect my business. I would let it affect my value of who I am and whether or not I deserve to even have a bigger level in my business. And I realized this was a gift. What happened was a gift for me to go in, and of course I went in and I apologized to my children that there's no way to talk to them, and I worked that through with them, and it actually allowed me to be more present and more loving and more connected to them than even before than I was in the past. And it allowed me to be even more in my business, to allow myself to really be more connected and more present, and to realize my power of creativity, my power to over anything that happens, because things come up in our business, and you can either let it stop you, or you can let it really move you through. And these lessons that I am learning as being a mom of how to really be that grounded, loving person, no matter what, that I can be there for my kids and not be a reflex reaction of guilt or whatever, because all those thoughts, all those negative thoughts of what happened in the past or what could happen in the future, takes away from the ability to really allow what's in the present, what's here and what's now. It doesn't help anything. So no matter what, and that analogy applies. I mean, think of it. Think of whenever you might have been communicating. For those of you that still talking to your leads, if you are the communication, or if you're doing an ad and somehow something doesn't quite work out, or you do anything, you're working on something, and whatever it is in your business, when you reach a glitch, because there'll always be some, there's always, everything moves like this, right? Your business goes like this. It's like a rocket ship going to the moon, right? And it's constantly being adjusted. And it's always learn and adjust, learn and adjust, and learn and adjust. And as long as you keep going, you're going to be great. Right? You just got to keep doing it. And it's being grounded, it's knowing that you are, how powerful you are, and that you have the love, you have the creativity, you have the wisdom, and that you are more than your circumstances. You just are. And that anything is possible. That determination, that love and being groundedness for my kids. And on another level, if any of you, then this might ring a bell for you. If you feel like you're not living up to being, and nobody's perfect. See, that's just it. So when you make a mistake, having the guilt phase doesn't help either. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. All it is if you're not doing something in the way that you want to do, you can stop and let it go and just allow what is you, the powerful you, to come forth in the moment. And it's just an experience. So like whatever happened, the whole thing happened so that I could be in a better place. And to just allow whatever is happening to move your to say it is the best possible thing to move yourself forward. You might have heard this in prior hangouts, but it really, it comes back to this. But your experiences of being a mom can really help with that. Whatever it is, I know there'll be other stories, but I'm sort of taking an extreme negative of what can happen, and the positives as well, So because it's all such a growing experience, I learned so much about myself from my kids. They are my teachers every day, and it was a big thing to realize that that I was holding myself back in my business because I felt like I wasn't perfect enough as a parent, and that somehow that I was not deserving of the next level, whatever that level is for you, because it can be anything. I mean, you could be making 6 figures, and it's how to make the next 6 figures. You could be making 7 figures, how do I make 8 figures? I mean, honestly, from wherever you're at is where you're at to the next level. And to realize that you are not your mistakes. Your kids are not their mistakes, right? And all of that learning to be applied. So I'm going to pass on. Who wants to? Greta, are you ready to go next? Or Michelle or Rashawn? Who would like to?
I was wondering if maybe Michelle wanted to come out. It looked like she was. I'm not sure. Michelle, did you want to say something?
Would you like to hop out next?
Yeah, I can. Hi from New Zealand. I'm actually sitting in my good evening. It's 4 a.m. or 4:20 now. We've just had daylight savings. So, so this is all new to me with the business being in for about, all in for about 2 weeks now. But I just find it really great being at home with the children, and I love being one of those school mums. I love going to school, being able to assist with the work there, the reading, the school productions, just anything to do with kids. So being able to work this business around them, whether it's 4 in the morning, it's actually really quiet. I don't normally get up at this time, just for the hangout. But even to work with the kids next to me, and they just sit in the drawer, and it's great because I'm at the big dining table and they just sit there and they just play away really quietly. So I can normally get an hour work done while they're doing that. It's still a juggling act for me, and being a wife and being a mother. But there's a really awesome book that I read a couple of years ago, and I just refer to it so many times. It's like kind of like my Bible. It's a journal, and it was written by a New Zealand author called Jodie Kegley Ward, and she actually lives in Australia now. And it's called "You Sexy Mother." So it's pretty much taking sexy back. So what it is this mum. She was just so tired, and she had one child. Now she has 2. And she wrote this book because she just wanted to be more, wanted to feel like she was getting her life back. Not her old life, but just to be inspired and not be so tired. So she just started writing this journal about her life, and I just find it so brilliant, and I refer to it almost every day. Really just pick it up at any chapter, which even makes housework exciting. So that's a pretty big thing, but just the power of relationships. And if your children are having a bad day, it doesn't have to be your bad day, and that's what I try and get out of it, because I know sometimes if one of my boys is upset or in a bad mood, it can put me in a bit of a bad mood as well, and I'm like, no, it's his bad day, it's not my bad day. So to try and turn it around into a positive. But I just really, I love this book, and if I ever feel tired or a bit down or just need a bit of a lift, I just go to it, and I just think it's awesome. So
That's
no,
great.
I don't really have too much more to say. It's all so new to me, but it seems to be coming together really nicely, and I actually feel more energized. I think mums are so used to having not as much sleep, I was multitasking. And where there's a will, there's a way, and I think you can do it. Yeah. Forget the housework. You can do it, definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. That's great. What was the name of the book again? Your Sexy...
You Sexy Mother, A Life-Changing Approach to Motherhood by Jodie Headley Ward.
Great, great, great. Thank you. And it's like, and what time is it again where you're at?
It's now 4:24
in the morning. You're wonderful.
Oh, I love it.
You rock. You rock. I have a feeling, I'm wondering, Serena, because sometimes she falls asleep, she might not have woken up. Sorry, hopefully she'll be coming in too. So Vashon, would you like to share?
Sure, I'd be glad to.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Now we got sound.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, yeah, I think that it's really important to understand as a mother that we're not alone. I think a lot of people think that you're alone, you're a mom, and you're out there, and you're by yourself, and you just got to do everything and be this super mom. And I researched some statistics because I think it's important for all of us to kind of know, where we are in this world. And this is from 2013 census data, but basically it says in 2013 there were over 8.6 million women-owned businesses in the United States. Probably even more than that, obviously, in the world, but just in the United States alone, 8.6 million women-owned businesses, and the majority of those women-owned businesses are mompreneurs, so moms that are entrepreneurs. And so we're not alone, and we are a very powerful force. And I don't know about you, but at least initially when I started having kids, I felt like I needed to kind of hide that from the business world because I didn't want to be seen as a weaker executive when I used to work for corporate America. Doesn't that just sound horrible? I mean, being a mom is so powerful in itself, but I think we're brought up to think that we have to act like a man when we're in the corporate world, and that our children are being taken care of by someone else. And for me, I always felt like that was so wrong. And so that's one of the things that motivated me to get out of corporate America and really focus on being a mompreneur and using that as leverage to be who I really am, but also to spend more time with my kids. My kids are a little bit older than some of Greta's and Valerie. My kids are currently in school. My youngest, I have two boys. One is in elementary school. He just started kindergarten, and the other one is in 4th grade. And so they're at school right now, so it's a little bit of quiet. The only noise you'll probably hear here at my home right now is my dogs. But nonetheless, it is so neat because when they were growing up, and I've been a mompreneur for the past 7 years, and when they were growing up, they were here at the house. I didn't have to put them in daycare. And to me, how powerful is that? So I wanted to let everyone know some benefits of being a mom and how you can keep this in mind when you are growing a business, or if you're considering having your own business from home. These are some benefits. Basically, the benefit of being a mompreneur is the ability to have it all. And what I mean by that is financial freedom, following your passion, working from home if you're in a home-based business, using your own unique skills and not having to do something that you just aren't good at, the flexibility to accommodate both your business and the family dynamics, and juggling all of your family responsibilities. So I mean, those are huge benefits that definitely lured me in to becoming a mompreneur. So I wanted to give you 5 things. 5 things. I like to bullet point things out, but these are 5 things to really help you if you're considering being a mompreneur, or you already are one and you're struggling to really get it off the ground. These 5 ways that you can do this as a mom. Okay, so the first one, if you're ready, I know everybody's kind of grinning because I'm known being the tipster here. I like to give tips. The first one, thanks Valerie, the first one is take yourself seriously. And what I mean by that is, I mean, I don't want you to get all stodgy, but don't doubt your authenticity. You are important, and your abilities are legitimate. Just because you're a mom does not mean that, that you're less of an executive or you're less of a business owner. So take that part of your life seriously. That's number one. The second thing is designate a work area. A lot of times as moms, we try to get little work done here and there around the house as we can, and sometimes you have to, especially when you've got real little ones and everything. But if you have space in your home, set up a specific designated workspace. And by doing that, it helps you to have that mental separation between work hours and family time, and it'll help you to get more done. Try to set specific time frames for that. So don't mix, if you can, don't mix your business time with your family time. And you may have to do this in small chunks, especially if you're a breastfeeding mom or something like that. You have to set it up in small chunks so that you can help with your young children. But I can tell you, as someone who basically has raised my children at home because they grew up as infants here, not having, and I was working out of my home. My sons, they know my office, and my office is in a basement. I don't know if you can see the background here. I'm in a lower level walkout basement, and there's a door that goes up to the main part of the house, and they know if my door is shut that I'm probably on a phone call or I'm currently doing a hangout or something like that, and that they should knock or carefully open the door and check on me. And I know that sounds really funny, but what it's done is, ever since they were little, they know when and how to approach me when I'm working. Now, obviously, if there's an emergency and somebody bumps their head, we have a rule at our house: if there's blood or there's an emergency or there's a fire, I don't care if the door is shut, they can open it up. And I do have a real funny story before I give you some more of these tips. So my youngest son, his name's Jack, and when he was 3 years old, he's my tough one. I mean, he's really tough. My older one kind of wears his feelings on his shirt sleeve. But my youngest son, he totally busted his head, okay? And I was on a phone call, and I kind of had my back to the door, kind of like I do now. And I had my back to it, but I heard him come in, and he didn't say a peep. He wasn't crying, nothing. And all of a sudden, I realized he was there, and so I turned and I looked, and if you get any type of thing on your head, it just bleeds like crazy. And there was all this blood just going down his face, and he's just standing there, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I told the person I was talking to, I said, I gotta go. I've got an emergency. And the second I hung up, he just started bawling. He held it in that whole time because he knew I was on the phone, and I felt so bad, and I just gave him this huge hug, and I told him, I said, that was so nice of you to be so quiet, but I said, you're really hurt. It's okay to, let me know. So bless his heart, but it's still funny to me that he was so tough. He didn't want to interrupt my call, but I felt so bad.
And you were home.
Anyhow, that's how you. What was that?
You were home, but here's the thing: you were home for that.
Yeah.
You were home to be there for that, not somebody else, not some stranger dealing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, and that's the beauty of being a mompreneur, is that you can be there for your children. And just to kind of fill in on that story, the business client that I was working with, when I told him I had to go because it was a family emergency type situation, it was a man. He was so impressed. I hear I was trying to kind of hide that I had all these kids running around. And when I called him back later, after we doctored up his wound, when I called him back later, he asked, he says, is everything okay? And I said, oh, my young son is here, and he bumped his head in blood, and I told him the story. And he says, that is so neat that you are such a professional and you can manage your children at the same time. And he admired me more because now there was a realness to me. Yeah. I wasn't trying to be something I wasn't. I was letting him know that, yeah, I have a family too. I'm a real person, and things happen. And all of a sudden, he let his guard down too, and we had a much better business relationship than we had before. So a little story there. So let me continue here. So we went to one. We said two is designate a work area. The third was have a support system in place. And what I mean by that is, look at these ladies in this panel here. You know, this is one of the beautiful things about the business that we're in, is that we have a team of other moms that are doing something similar to what we're doing. And we support each other, we help each other, we talk to each other, and sometimes we even utilize each other for different tasks that maybe we're not good at or they're better at, and they can give us tips. And so we have this panel of amazing, brilliant women that can help us. So have a support system and be prepared to balance your family needs with your business. So, for instance, here are two things I highly recommend in your support system. Number one, have a virtual assistant. And what I mean by that, there's a lot of websites out there such as Odesk or Fiverr, if you're not familiar with those, where you can get assistance on projects that are, you know, simple tasks that maybe you know how to do, or you maybe don't even know how to do, that you just need to free up some time so you have the time to give to your children. And that, to me alone, is brilliant. Like, I can spend 4 hours doing the things that I really need to do for the day, and the rest of the time is all with my kids because I use these virtual assistants all the time. So consider that, because then you can have a better balance with your family. And the other thing is having a coach. You know, have somebody that is already a successful mompreneur to bounce ideas off of. And ask, you know, how do they do this? How do they juggle, you know, family with business? And you will get some wonderful ideas and tips. And hopefully you're getting some today from all these wonderful ladies. Okay, so that was the third. Have a support system. The fourth is to realize your value. And what I mean by that is, don't underestimate your value and underprice yourself. So if you're doing something in the business world, maybe you have your own products or services that you're selling, a lot of times as a mom, we will underprice ourselves compared to our competitors because we, oh, well, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Well, that's powerful that you're a stay-at-home mom. Don't undervalue yourself, and make sure that you are pricing yourself according to the average rate out there. Don't undervalue that. And maybe this would be a great topic for another call, Valerie, is how to price yourself if you're doing other types of contract work. I'd be happy to help with that. And then finally, the fifth way to be a great mompreneur is to know your brand. And by brand, this is your unique audience, and it's people that are like you. You know, remember that number, that figure I gave you at the beginning of the call? There's 8.6 million women-owned businesses. If you're hiding that you're a mom, that's 8.6 million people that you're missing out on. So, you know, keep in mind that you are important, and know who your audience is. And it doesn't have to be just a mom. Every one of us has unique things, like Valerie, the lawyer. Greta, what was yours before? You can tell me later, but you know, the different backgrounds that you have, talk to those people. Like Valerie, talk to moms that are lawyers currently, or moms that are trying to, or have some kind of legal field, because that's a very unique segment that you could brand to, and you probably already are, but you can brand to those people, and suddenly you have a massive audience that they love and follow you, and they respect you for who you are. So I know I've talked everybody's ear off, but I hope you got those great tips, and that helps you to be a mompreneur.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Vashon.
Thank you. Greta, is it a good time for you to pop out?
Yeah.
Can everybody
hear me?
Notes? Yes. What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. It's okay. Good. It's clear. Awesome. Oh, Vashon's been away for a couple of weeks, and my gosh, you just always bring just amazing tips. So I hope everybody had a pen and paper and took some notes, because she just always brings it to these hangouts. So thank you so much, Vashon. And Michelle, I really, it's just it's an honor to have somebody who's so new to the business come on with us during the week, because I think it it helps for us to remember what it was like when we first started, and it helps for people out there, maybe yourself, who hasn't necessarily made the decision yet to jump on and to venture out and to face your fears of the unknown of the mompreneur life and what it's like and the benefits and so on. And I love just hearing and being a part of that beginning process with you, Michelle. It's really awesome to be able to hear you share your thoughts and feelings, and it's just coming from this truly authentic, raw place, which of course I mentioned last week that I value that so much. So thank you. Yeah, and of course waking up at, before, like, I mean, kind of like, that's like, to me, that's like middle of the night kind of stuff, which is, and it looks, I mean, you look so fresh and the lighting and like, my God, it's amazing. So, I mean, yeah, Valerie was talking earlier about this post that I had written, and I was so, just like, I'm so inspired all the time, and the more and more that I connect with who I am and why I'm here and why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I've decided to be a mompreneur and all this, is just, I'm always just soul searching more and more, and these thoughts and feelings and emotions are coming out more, and I'm realizing, I'm finally realizing and waking up to the true freedom. Like, I get goosebumps thinking about it. It's all over my whole body, thinking about the freedom that I have created for my life and my children and my family. It's just like, I'm just finally now starting to really wake up to what it really is, and my life that I've created, and realizing that all these things that I've been focusing on has really brought me to the life that I've dreamed of having. Like, I start to realize, because I live in this place of gratitude all the time as well, and I'm grateful for all the things that I have now in my life right now in this moment, and I live in the present moment, and it brings up, these things start to show up in my life, and it's just everywhere I turn I realize, holy, like, as Vashon, when you were talking about the importance of creating your own space in your home, like your own office space. Like, I fought that for so long. I was like, no, I've got to be like in the common area, in the middle of the mayhem of my 6 children running around, because I've got to be right there. And that's what I did for a long time. And then we moved, I don't know, a couple months ago, I think in June, and unexpectedly again. We've moved like so many times. And I've realized that during those moves, it was all this experience of getting me to where I am right now, and how grateful I am to be where I am, that I created this, and I needed to go through some challenging times to get to where I am today, but it was so worth it. And now, and then all of a sudden, and I was still, when I moved into this house, I was still fighting, creating my own space. I was like, no, I got the internet guy. Okay, no, it's got to be in this common area, so make sure the internet is set up over here, because my computer is going to be right here in the middle of everything. And then it just so happened that I didn't get my computer set up there. We had stuff everywhere, like all of our belongings were just all over the house, and mostly in the common area. That's where everything got moved to, right? And then, so I didn't have this space that I had allotted for myself. So then my connection was all wonky, my internet connection. I didn't have the proper internet connection. It was always in and out. And then I decided, okay, I got to call this guy. I got to get it set up. Finally, I was like, okay, I'm going to stop fighting this. And I realized I had this space in my home that was like this perfect office space that was, you know, had a door, had actually a couple of doors. It's right beside another room where I have like set up as a playroom. And then I have my kitchen right outside this other door here. So I'm always in earshot. I'm always readily available for the kids. I can close my door when I need to. Vashon, like you were saying earlier, how important it is, you know, and they know when that door is closed because it's rarely closed. When I'm on these hangouts, the door gets closed. But it's just, it's so it's amazing, just really when you make these decisions, when you finally decide that what it is that, you know, whether if you're a mom and you have your kids in daycare or you're out working all the time, you haven't yet quite decided to or figured out how you're going to make it happen, how, you know, how you're going to be able to stay home with your kids and have them stay home with you. Maybe you'd like to homeschool your kids. I homeschool my kids as well, so I really do truly have my kids with me all the time, and that's also the value of building my business from home, being so involved in personal development and truly focusing on my post was really a lot about self-love, and finally making that decision a couple of years ago that I needed to focus on my own self-love, because if I want my children to love themselves and to see the value in themselves and to never ever lose sight of that, I needed to start showing them that myself. I know for you, if you're a mom, you know how tiring it can be, the fatigue of just being a mom, the lack of sleep and everything. And when you don't have something that you're passionate about outside of being a mother, because I mean, my passion has always been centered around being a mother, and it's not, I'm not saying that it's not still now, but what I'm saying is that it doesn't only have to be, you don't only have to ignite the passion within you as a mother. You can ignite the passion within you as you. As you. Like you are your own person still, beside being a mom. And, you know, and that person within yourself is so much greater and stronger and powerful because of your journey as a mother and your transition into motherhood. I mean, it's so incredible. I have this, I just looked up and I have this picture above right in front of me, and it's a quote, and it's, "Motherhood, all love begins and ends there," by Robert Browning. And I picked that up years ago, and I just recently put it up on my wall, and I kept looking up at it, and I thought I'd share that with you. It's just, you know, it's being a mompreneur has completely changed my life. Completely changed my life. It has just woken me up to a life that before starting this journey, I wasn't aware of. I've always been a spiritual, emotional person and connected to energy and things like that, and I just didn't quite know where. I was kind of floating around as this energy, spiritual, loving person on the outside and on the inside, but there was something that was missing. I was I was struggling, and maybe you're there right now, or maybe you can relate to what I'm saying right now. And it's kind of it can be, even though you have this love within yourself, it can be a painful place to be. And it's a place that you don't really want to stay around for too long. It's just this struggle between the negative and positive, and these self-limiting beliefs, and then wanting to feel love in your life or within yourself. And all it takes really is a decision. And within our community here, we have something so powerful and these resources that we're able to tap into, let alone each other that we can reach out to, like Valerie was saying when she had that moment with her kids. And I'm so grateful, and thank you so much, Valerie, for sharing that, because I know that as moms, we feel alone, even though we're not alone, and we have these difficult, challenging times in our lives, and we feel like nobody else is experiencing them or something, because it's like nobody's talking about it. And that, I think sometimes, I just feel that you sharing that is going to help you out there watching, because it's making you realize that you're not alone, and other moms experience this. And no, you're not a bad mom because your child hurt themselves. It's what you do with that situation, and what Valerie did with that situation that changed it. And she realized that in that moment that there was a greater good that came from that. And that's just, I could go on about this topic, and it's just, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy that you're here with us watching, because I know it's for a good reason, and I know that you're resonating with this. If you're still here with us right now, you're resonating with all these stories shared and the tips that Bashan was sharing, and it's bringing this sort of excitement and this intrigue in your mind and in your heart to just do something. You need to actually take these feelings that you're experiencing from our stories and do something with it, and take action on it. Because you could sit here forever. We could talk for hours and hours and hours about what this has done for us, and what motherhood and entrepreneurship can do for you in your life, what's done for us and what it can do for you. And you can take that and you can feel good, and you can walk away for an hour and feel good, or whatever, and you can come back with us every week, and that's fine. We love having you. But the thing is that going to change? Is that going to change anything? Is that going to get you those things that maybe you started to think about wanting in your life? Maybe you started to think, well, actually, that would be nice. That I'd like to be able to stay home with my kids too. I'd like to find a way where I could spend more time with my kids, where I could spend all day long playing and doing and creating these beautiful memories with my children that I'm not getting right now, or I don't feel like I'm getting enough of, and using those stories to help connect with other people out there. That's what we do. That's what I'm so passionate about doing and sharing. And that's what I do in my business. As I share my stories, I go out there and I have fun with my kids all day. Valerie, I mean, she goes to Disneyland all the time, and just like it's crazy. And we share these stories, and we connect emotionally with the moms just like you out there. And that's what you can do. You have value in what you're doing and in your life with your children that you can share, that others are waiting to hear. They're waiting to hear your stories. So
Thank you, Greta. It sounds like you're winding down. I want to just quickly note, I mean, when Sean was talking about the community, there's us here. There's a much larger community of moms, of super women. And if you look on the that we are connected with as well, so that connect with any one of us, and we can I mean, literally, like hundreds, thousands, I don't know, is it more, 1,000, a couple thousand? I don't even know what's in there now. There's a massive community.
There's over 2,000.
Over 2,000, exactly. Connect with us, with the Superwomen as well. So, connect with us, message with us, and we can tell you exactly how to do that. And especially if you aren't already connected into the system that we use, when you click that button below, get into the system, you will also be contacted by one of us as well, and we'll make sure that you're connected into that community as well. So there's that as well for you. So looks like Sarita is not going to be able to join us this time, but I know she's with us in spirit. I wanted to mention Nicole Barham. I'm going to check on the notes. I was just there a second ago. She's getting great value. She might be with us as well next week. And I wanted to see, just a second, I'm going to take another quick look in there, just to see if we go. Oh, what am I looking at here? Oh, wrong link. There we go. I think I need to refresh the page just to see. And so thank you. I wanted to thank everybody for coming, and check our, Facebook profiles as well. We'll have information, because there's also the Superwomen, we have a call that is actually happening we do it every Monday through Friday, that you can also connect with. I'm actually speaking on tomorrow's call. So if you join us today 12 noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern is when we do it every day. And, like I say, follow our profiles. I'm actually speaking on a topic tomorrow on tomorrow's call. So come join us there. I got a special surprise for you. And next week we are going to have an incredible hangout. So always stay, come back. If there's any topic that you would love to hear us talk about, message us, comment in the chat roll, connect with us, and we'll be happy to get into that as well. And hang on, as I'm talking, there's the page, because I'm actually hosting the page. Just gonna find myself on it. So
can I just mention something as well?
Absolutely.
Just quickly, as I was touching on earlier, just about you may be sitting there and just you're sitting there wanting to know what to do next, or just like Valerie was saying, like, you can join our community and get started, and when you do, you can, like, what excites me is that you can do what we're doing right now, and we can help you do that. Like, you can come on these hangouts, as a mompreneur. Like Michelle, she just got started a couple months ago, and we would love to have you here with us and to be able to share as well, to be able to really delve into this journey with us. I mean, it's really, truly amazing, and yeah, so I just get excited about having these new people on with us and having them be able to share from their hearts, and because different people, you resonate with different people. That's just it as well. So you have a special connection that you have that needs to be shared with others. So awesome.
Thank you. Rashawn, Michelle, anything else?
We're good.
Nope, we're good. All right, want to keep it short. We're coming up on the hour. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Connect with us. You can click that button below, get into our system, and message us, and let us know what inspired you. And love you all. We're all wonderful moms, and Sarita's not here. She's here in spirit. This is what she would say: create an amazing day, create an amazing life, and love you all. See you next week.